Hello everyone, it's Miss Thomas, and this is just the sort of remaining questions from the review that you still needed me to explain to you. So we're just going to do a couple numbers at a time per video, and then, yep, that's it. So we're going to start with number 2. In the sequence 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, what term will the number 96 be? So you can see that we're adding 1/2 every time. So that means that it's an arithmetic sequence. Oops.
What did you do?
So for A, I know that my common difference is going to be 1/2. And then we want to know what term 96 will be. So we know our U of n is 96, but we don't know what n equals. But we can still use our formula to find U of n, which is U of 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So since I know that I have the term with the value 96, our first term is 2, right here, plus, plus n minus 1 times d, which is 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead, subtract the 2 over. We're doing too many steps here. 94, and I'm going to distribute at the same time. Equals 1/2 n minus 1/2. Add the 1/2 over. I'm going to get 94.5 is equal to 1/2 n. And then to solve for n, I'm just going to multiply by 2. And n is going to be 188th term. Okay, so then let's look at B and C. B, in a city, there is on average a crime rate of, in a city there was on average a crime rate every 90 minutes. This represented an increase of 10% over the previous year. In the previous year, there was on average a crime every X minutes. Find X. So this is really about percent change. So generally the equation for a percent change, and I know it's in your formula book and it looks a little bit different, but it's generally new minus old over old equals percent change. It will be percent change as a decimal, but to change our decimals into percents, we know how to do that. So my new amount, in the city there was on average crime every 90 minutes, and that's a 10% increase over last year. And we don't know last year, so we don't know X. So we do know that our current is 90 crimes a minute, and that's an increase over last year of 10%. So all you really need to do here is multiply by the X to get it out of the denominator. And then you're going to end up with, sorry, I'm going to have to do it to the side here. You're going to end up with 90 minus X equals 10% of X. So then I'm going to add the x over. And it's going to be 1.1. 1.1x. And then you're going to divide by the 1.1, which I don't really have room for here. And you're going to get that x equals 81.8. So go ahead, get this down, and I'm going to kind of clear it off so I have some room to work. All right, we'll work up here, I guess. It's not going to clear off. All right, so find x given that 3 minus 6 plus 12 minus 24 plus dot 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 plus x is equal to negative 63. So this is a series now. So 3 minus 6 plus 12 minus 24 So there are a lot of things that you need to figure out from this given information. One of those things, because the sign is changing every other term, then we should know that there's got to be multiplication going on there. You can't add or subtract and have the sign change back and forth like that. So to get from 3 to 6, I multiply by 2, 6 to 12 by 2, 12 to 24 by 2. So I can see that this is multiplication. That means it's geometric. Okay? So that's something you definitely need to be aware of. So because it is geometric, we need to know what the common ratio is. And in this case, it's a -2. Everything is being doubled, but because the signs are changing, like I said, it's a -2. And what this question is asking, it's asking, well, x is, what's the value of x? We don't know how long this series is, but we do know it's a series, and we know that the sum of the series is -63. So this is where we want to just go ahead and use it. Use the formulas that are in our formula book. Okay, so when I look at the sum formula, the sum for a geometric series is going to be u1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. So I'm going to plug in what I know, which I know the sum is -63. I know that u1 is 3. 1 minus my r is a -2 to the n all over 1 minus -2. So this one, this minus a negative down here becomes plus a positive, but be careful not to change the numerator because it's minus a -2 being raised to a power. And since it's being raised to a power, we can't simplify the minus a negative. Okay? So we're just going to go ahead and simplify this. We've got -63 equals 3 times 1 minus -2 to the n all over 3. So the nice thing is this 3 and this 3 are going to cancel out. So we get a much simpler equation. So personally at this point for you guys, I would recommend just solving this using my graphing calculator. So you want to graph a y1 as -63, y2 is 1 minus, and definitely be sure to put this in parentheses, negative 2 to the, well, for your graph and calculator purposes, it will be to the x power. And then you're really looking to find where those two intersect. Okay? So you're going to do it. Make sure you make your window big enough. Your y value is a negative 63, so you're going to need to see where your y is negative 63, and you're going to find the point of the intersection. So when you do that, you find that they intersect where the x is 6. So our x in this case was our exponent. Our exponent is our n. So I know that n equals 6. So I still have yet to find the value of x. But for that, I can just go ahead and use the sum formula. So I know because it's a not the sum formula, but I know because it's a geometric that I can find the nth term using the formula. That this is u1 times r to the n minus 1. So my un is my x equals, my first term is 3, my r is a negative 2, and my n is a 6, so 6 minus 1 is 5. So x is going to equal 3 times negative 32, which is going to be equal to 96.
But your iPad isn't away.